Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 117. The overnight trip that I did from Wednesday morning till Thursday morning, basically, was definitely a success, and I think it's a winning formula for me. I think I may do that more often. The reason for that is half the travel that I would normally do, and although I was tired, I got so much playtime in, and I was able to play on all different shifts at the casinos that I went to. Although there was a lot of driving back and forth between casinos, especially when we went another 2.5 to 3 hours to the Indian casino. That may not have been the best use of the time, but it definitely gave me more options. I wish I just had a chance to play blackjack there, because that would have been really nice. But overall for that trip, I left home around 6 or 6:30 in the morning on Wednesday, and I was already heading home by noon on Thursday, and I profited $6,077, so a little over 24 hours straight, but profited over $6,000, which is, just excellent. It's over $200 an hour for that time period. So we'll see. I've got some odd things happening right now that I'm going to have to change my schedule temporarily, which may draw a little bit more heat in one area, and I'll need to probably neglect another area temporarily while I extract money from this area. So anyway, today is Friday morning, early morning. It's nice and sunny today, 63 degrees. I'm on my way. The goal today is 3 sessions of blackjack, 4 sessions of slots, although I may be able to fit 1 or 2 more sessions in. There is a restaurant that opened up in my area, and my wife is itching to go. So she made reservations for 6:15 tonight, which is, that's a little tough on me, because I am driving 3.5 hours the opposite direction today. And then once I get back home, it'll take me 45 minutes to get her there for our reservations. So I'm going to have to move it along today. And it's not a problem, but I'm going to have to be aware of the time all throughout the day so that we don't miss our reservation. Now, don't get me wrong, if I'm presented with a huge opportunity, we'll miss the reservation, but hopefully not. So, let me see what else is going on this morning. I think that's all I want to talk about right now. There's a few other things on my mind, but I just want to think about it before I talk about it, because I don't want to give too many things away. The way that I speak to my audience is not like you're a bunch of babies. It's a way that hopefully we're collaborating together and helping each other out. But there's some things that if I talk about them improperly, will burn it for everyone, and nobody wants that. So, all right, letting you go for now, and I'll be back after my first stop. All right, guys, I am back. So let's go over what happened in the casino first, and then I'll let you know some news that I heard that you might be rolling your eyes about. But let's talk about this first. I go into this casino, and I'm like, man, there's like nothing at all, even like the tiny stuff that you'd normally find. And as it turned out, there was a guy about 30 seconds ahead of me, and I caught him way back at the end of the casino, and I got the last machine myself before he got to it. But that was a very frustrating experience, unfortunately, and really couldn't make any money because of that. But I did find one play that I know people don't like, that is kind of like my bread and butter play, and I do make a nice percentage of my money from it. And I ended up ahead $29 because of that, but that was a 60-cent play. I ended up ahead $29 on, and just went through the place and couldn't find anything. Finally just decided to leave, and right now I'm on my way to the next spot. I did get a text message, roll your eyes, here we go, about my car. It looks like it's ready. It turned out that it was the catalytic converter. I guess there's a secondary catalytic converter, which I've never heard about before, an internal one, which I've never heard of before, and when he looked in there, it was completely gummed up. He looked up online, it was going to be whatever, tons of money, $1,800 or some garbage to replace it, and you're not allowed to buy a used one. So I told him, hey, just put a straight pipe in there if you have to. I'm never going to sell the car anyway. And he ended up finding one in the middle of nowhere and brought it in, put it on. He said he's driven the car about 50 miles so far with no problems. So he's just going to verify everything one more time, one more pass through, and I'll be able to pick up my car. So that's going to be so nice to get that back. Just the amount of money I'll save on gas. I mean, this vehicle is doing between 28 and 30 miles a gallon. With my car, I should be able to do between 45 and 50 a gallon. So that'll be a huge savings, probably $5,000 or $6,000 a year minimum in gas savings alone. So I'm just guessing here, but just off the top of my mind. So yeah, the interesting thing is when I gave him my car, I had just put new stickers on there, you know, the registration stickers on there, and I just got a letter from the motor vehicles place that it's time to get new ones on. And because it is an EV, they're charging me an extra $100 for it because I'm paying less in gas, even though I pay more than you do in gas tax. I don't know if you heard about what's going on with California. I mentioned this 2 years ago, probably, that this was going to happen, and everyone said it'll never happen, and here we go. California is forcing everyone into EVs, and because of this, right now, a large number of new cars being purchased in California are electric vehicles, and because of that, people are not buying gas. Duh, right? Versus hybrids, you're going to continue to buy gas because your car is powered in multiple ways. So because they're buying less gas, they're paying less gas tax, and because of that, California is losing money and is not able to have enough money like they did before for fixing roads, and now they want to charge you by the mile, which I said was going to happen. And because it's an EV and it's got all these computers and location and all that kind of stuff, it can be tracked. And even if it can't be tracked, they want to track you one way or another. So right now they are in a pilot program with a few drivers, and they will be charging you, get ready for this, 30 cents a mile. So 30 cents a mile for electric vehicles. So my hybrid does up to 50 miles a gallon. So 50 miles a gallon would be $15 for 50 gallons. So 1 gallon of gas, which right now in my area is about $3, or I could pay California $15 in tax. One thing you got to understand is a lot of the things that are being done in the name of saving the environment are a money grab. You're going to be paying more in the long run. Your car costs more. Look at the price of a Tesla. They start at about $50,000. I can get a new Honda Accord for $25,000, $27,000, maybe $30,000. That's one way, and then now they're going to be charging you that way, and then they're going to be making electricity in different ways that are more environmentally safe, which the most environmentally safe is nuclear, by the way, and I've got a story about that. But they don't want to do that. They want to do wind and solar, which cost a lot of money to put up and upkeep, and dead birds and all that kind of stuff, which you can research. And then you end up paying more for your electricity because it's more expensive to make the power to run your house and eventually your car. So all this does is makes you more poor and makes you more subservient to them and what they want, makes you more dependent on them and what they want. And if you don't vote for them, like I remember almost every election, they'll say, if you vote for this party, they'll take away your welfare. Well, why the heck would they take away your welfare? It's already in the system. It needs a vote. You think they're just going to override the whole system just so that they can screw people and they can have less people voting for them? That's not the way things work. When you have a welfare system like we do, all you do is add more people to the rolls. You never take people off the rolls because you want those votes. You want to guilt those people into voting for you so they don't lose that money that they've become dependent on. So there's my soapbox. Anyway, moving on here to another casino. Just a beautiful day outside. Partly cloudy, fluffy clouds, and 70 degrees. How could it be any better? So I'm letting you go right now, plus whatever I said, $29 at that place, and moving on. I wanted to mention, I listened to a, not exactly a podcast, but like a podcast, about some of these Vegas people teaching each other about advantage players and things like that. And I'm just absolutely disgusted with it. For one thing, some of these guys were advantage players themselves before doing this. And from what I understand, even Bob Dancer now is working with them to catch people. Thanks a lot, Bob. Appreciate it. Whatever got you to where you are, just spit on everybody and whatever. You know, it's so disgusting. You made your money doing this, and then you made books to teach people how to do this and made some money off that. I know it's not a lot of money, but you made some money. Then you taught people how to do it and made some money, and now you're going around to the other side and helping the other side. And on this broadcast, I heard words to describe advantage players as thieves, scum, scumbags, disgusting animals, you know, terrible people, smelly, you know, just all these ridiculous things. But whatever, say what you want, do whatever you want. We're going to keep coming into your places and taking your money. And I think I mentioned it a long time ago. Instead of MWUSA, I was going to make my username the Extractor, and that's what I am, the Extractor. I'm coming to your place today, and I'm going to extract some money. So be waiting for me, because I'm ready to pick up that cash. Just give me about another 45 minutes. I'll be there. All right, guys, I am back. Man, variance is so weird. It is really, really weird. So I walk in, I see a table. Well, actually, I looked at slots first. I only found one play on one machine for one spin, and I missed on that, so that was minus $1. I go play some blackjack, and I win the first 8 hands, followed by losing 16 hands, followed by pushing 3 hands. And then things went more back to normal, chopping back and forth, and more strategy and stuff like that, instead of just win, 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 lose, lose, lose. So that was interesting. I ended up, actually, as I was playing there, the guy next to me claps his hands, he gets up, and he's all excited, you know, pumping his fist and all this stuff. And I'm like, what's going on over there? What did he win, like $50? And I look over, and he's playing 2 hands at 5,000, and he doubled both of them and won both. How nice is that? $10,000, $20,000 in one hand. I look over, he's got about 50,000 in front of him at that point. He takes a break, and I finish up. I end up ahead 550, and I'm leaving, and I'm friends with the waitress there, and talk to her for a minute, and she's telling me, oh yeah, that guy is crazy. He comes in, he plays huge money all the time. The only things in front of him were $500 and $1,000 chips. And she said he came in yesterday and was down over $100,000 by the time she left. I think she leaves around noon. So, live by the sword, die by the sword. Probably not counting cards if he's playing that big, and he's been coming there for years, and they allow him to play, but interesting. So I end up ahead 550 there. And then I go look at slots again. I find another one. Now I'm up $1 instead of down $1. Find another machine, and it gets jammed up. Like so, it wouldn't let me put any money in there. So I called a slot technician over. She comes over, messes around with it, can't get it to work, leaves, calls a slot tech. About 2 minutes after she leaves, I try it again, and it works. So by the time the slot tech rolled around, I'm down about $30. in this machine, play my game all the way through, end up down 100, and then move on to another game, play that one, and end up ahead 130. So I ended up walking away plus $30 on the slots, plus $5.50 on the blackjack, and now we're going to move on. This next place I rarely go to on Friday, so I don't know what to expect, but we'll see. Hopefully, I think yesterday, Thursday, is like a giveaway day, and I don't know how busy it was yesterday, but hopefully everybody got it out of their system yesterday and it's more quiet today, which would mean less slot hustlers coming in to look around and possible opportunities for me. Meanwhile, I've been driving all this time thinking that I had my computer working, thinking that I was active in the system, and I was not this whole time. Okay, well, maybe I am now. Anyway, I was just saying, hopefully less slot hustlers today, and we have an opportunity to make some more money. So that's what's going on right now. I'm moving on. By the way, the money belt that I bought, I really don't like it. I'm worried because when I can't feel it, I'm worried that it's not there. And when I do feel it, it's digging into my skin. So I need to find another way to do this. I'm thinking what might work might be either for me to put a sock over it so all the plastic and all that stuff isn't touching my skin, like make like a sleeve over it, or maybe just design my own and do that. It might work. I might be able to take the one that I bought and just put something completely over it, like actually sew something soft over the entire thing, and then I know that it's there, and when it's hitting my skin it's not hurting, and when I'm sitting down or in the car it's not digging into my skin. So we'll see. If you guys have experience with it, let me know. I didn't know what to expect with it, but so far I'm not very happy with it. This one seems to fit about 30,000 in it, and I only put like 20 in it just to try it out, but it was still, we'll see. All right, letting you go. I'll be back. All right, guys, I'm back. Got some food. It's not even 8 p.m. and I'm getting food. What did you eat today, MW? Tuna fish sandwich. Pretty good. I've had half of it so far, but I walk into this place, look around at slots. I see zero, nothing at all. I'm like, so much for having a big day on slots. Walk around, go to the high limit area, look around. It's hard to find a table to sit down. Finally, I find a table. I sit down. I'm back there, just kind of chopping back and forth with the dealer and not making any headway. Finally, I had a decent shoe and had a good run at the end of the shoe and ended that shoe ahead 500. So nice little 500. And I was walking out and I said, let me just take one more lap of the slots because I've been playing blackjack for a little while. Maybe something has changed. So I go look around at slots. I find one machine I want to play, sit down, play that through, and ended up ahead. That one was at $3 a spin. Ended up ahead $359. So plus $359 on slots and $500 on the blackjack. And it's getting to be a nice day already. We're going to move on to another casino. This one may not have high limit open, may not have any playable tables, so it might be a quick trip, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do from there. So for now, I'm going to let you go. I am moving on, and then I'll be back. Oh, let me tell you, when I was in line at the cashier, there was a guy in front of me, and it was taking a long time to cash out, and because he had like 6,000 in chips. And finally, he got fed up, and he just walked over to the high limit area. I like using the high limit cashier if I played high limit or not, because their thresholds are usually a little bit higher. Even if there are 3,000 at both places, 2,900 at the high limit, they're not going to ask you for ID usually. In the low limit, they may ask you for ID at 2,500 if you get a person who wants to be a jerk. So anyway, he was telling me he was playing roulette, and I'm like, man, God bless you. And he's like, he had 6,900. He said he was still down 3,100, so obviously he had bought in for 10K. and they came and they approved it. And then I was talking to him for a little while how much he's bought into roulette and how great it is. But he understands to play single zero, not double or triple zero. So at least he's got that going for him. And I thought of a little invention while I was back there, and I'm actually going to research it and see if it's possible to do it. I feel like it is. I'm going to see if it exists first. If it does, then I'll tell you guys all about it. If it doesn't, then I'm going to get a little bit of advice to see if it's possible to create it, and maybe I'll share it with you later on. So letting you go for now, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, I am back. So I go into this place. I go to the high limit area after looking at the slots. I find nothing on the slots at all, nothing playable. So I go to the high limit area. High limit area is closed, so I'm looking for a table to play. Usually the low limit doesn't have as good of rules, and it's 8 decks. So I finally find a table I want to play. I sit down and buy in for 500, and just like the last place, just kind of chopping back and forth for a really long time, not making anything, not losing anything. First shoe goes by, I'm down whatever, 400 or something like that. Nothing terrible one way or another. Next shoe, a little bit better. I'm up a couple hundred. And then next shoe, a third guy comes to the table. We have like no count going at all, hanging around zero. Finally, it starts going negative, and I look down, and I'm up exactly $500. So decided to leave. I really don't like playing with two other people anyway. Side bets and talking back and forth and all this stuff, and I'm really not into any of that stuff. So I ended up leaving that place ahead 500 on the slots, and I left that place ahead nothing on, wait a minute, I said it all wrong, 500 on the blackjack, and did not play the slots. I've got a bit of a headache today. I think I'm dehydrated, so I got to get some more water to drink, but I think we're up almost 2,000 today, so that's pretty nice. Right now I'm going to head off to a local place here I need to visit, and then we'll get some gas and then decide what to do from there. So I'm going to let you go right now, and I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. I went into the next place, looked around. It was really busy in there. It was a little bit comical how things went down, because every time I wanted to check a machine, I go around the corner and I go to sit down, and I see someone else already sitting there, and they're not playing. They're watching someone else play or waiting for someone or something like that. And it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to tell them to stand up so you can check it, and then you're not going to play it? So I ended up leaving it alone and just came back around later on and checked everything. Trying to think which machine it was that I played. I played one machine. Played one machine, and I was chasing something, obviously. And on the run up to what I was chasing, I actually had a nice hit. And then by the time I was done chasing, I had actually lost money from that point. So that's always, one of those things, especially if it's borderline. And I actually paused for a minute and thought, man, do I really want to continue on? I just had this hit, and I did continue, but I ended up losing some money from that point. As I was walking around, I saw a guy checking machines who is someone I know, and I know he's going to ask me for money, and so I just walked the other way, let him go by, and then I came back later and checked it, so I didn't have to deal with him, because some of these guys are just users. Some people are nice and they're friendly, and you have good conversations with them, and other ones are users. And when you're out on the road and you're by yourself and you have no one to talk to, and all that, and your best friend is a YouTube video, and then someone says hi to you in a casino, and it's actually someone who knows what you're doing and supports it because they're doing the same thing, and then they're trying to ask you for money. It's like, what did you do with your money? Go use your own money. You live in this area. You're in this casino all day long. There should be no place for me at all in this casino, and you should have tons of money. Walk around, get your free drinks, and get your free food, and get your free money. I don't have a place like that. So, I have no home base really anymore. Anyway, then I ended up going and getting a few drinks because I get a weekly amount. I got some drinks for the road, and headed to the car ahead 138. So another 138 to a nice day. I'm pretty sure we're at 2,000 today. We're at 6,000 yesterday and the night before. You know, and I don't even remember earlier on in the week. This is how I get so forgetful. Let me see. A couple days ago, minus plus, I made $100. That's it. What about this day? I made 300. Yeah, so we're up like 8,500 for the week. Most of it being the last couple days. Now, today is Friday. Tomorrow, Saturday. Normally, I don't do anything, but Sunday, I'm gonna just turn everything around here and do some stuff that I normally don't do. Normally, I go to a closer area on Sunday because it's, you know, I usually don't leave till like 4 in the afternoon, and I get home at 4 a.m. as it is, or 5 a.m. as it is. But this week, I'm going to go to a different area. I'm totally leaving the area that I normally go on Sunday. This will be a couple weeks without going there, just because I just want to let it cool down. Because although I'm not making a ton of money there, every time I go in there, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna make another 500 and leave," and I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I lost 3,000 yesterday," or something like that. So I'm just gonna let it go for a little while and then start going back again. Okay, here I'll talk about something here. I know he won't mind me telling you, but a friend of mine who is also in blackjack apprenticeship, very well respected and everything. He sent me a message through Discord, and I'm not going to read everything because some of it is him being very nice to me, and it's not necessary for me to read that out to you. But I just want to read this part to you. He says, halfway through your second to last episode, you talk about playing high limit table where a half deck has already been played, and you talk about how you adjust your count for that. Okay, if you remember right, that was the first day of my 2-day trip, and at the beginning of that day, I walked up to a table, and there was about half a deck played, and I explained that you're going to take that half deck, put it in the back, so if they're cutting 1.5, you got to figure they're cutting 2. You have 3 decks left in the shoe, you got to divide by 3.5 because that half deck's been played. You remember me talking about that. Now, he says, however, due to card counters being all over, at an all-time high, due to the blackjack apprenticeship explosion in recent years, the chance that that already played half deck is severely negative slug. Is it? Sorry, I'm driving and reading. The chance that that already played half deck is a severely negative slug that a counter walked away from is non-negligible likelihood, in my opinion. Be careful. So he's saying that, and I should have just paraphrased in the first place, but he's saying be careful because he knows what area I play, and with so many card counters, lots of times when only a half deck is played, someone walks up, they get 2 tens, the dealer gets 2 tens, the player next to him gets 2 tens, next hand there's a couple of blackjacks, a couple of tens, and now that you got a running minus 12, and then they leave it, and you walk up thinking, well, I've only played a quarter deck or a half deck, what's the big deal? And the whole time, instead of starting at 0, you're really at a minus 12 running count, and you don't realize it. So he's telling me to be careful. So I appreciate that. Sorry I butchered reading that. It's very bright outside, and I'm trying to read and drive. So, all right, let's see where we're at right now. Right now, I'm heading toward home. It is 77 degrees. Remember, we're trying to get to that dinner tonight, but I will be playing at that casino, of course. Where will we go to dinner? At a casino, of course. So, this is just a small-time casino, and has a nice restaurant in it that just opened up. It's not a full casino, and we're going to have dinner there. So I'm going to let you go right now, continue on my trip home, and then when we go to dinner tonight, I will play some slots most likely, and then I'll come back and update you. Alright guys, I am back. So right now I am on a college campus. How did that happen? So I got home, took the wife to the restaurant. It was awful. Supposed to be a famous person, which if I told you his name, it would narrow down where I am, so I won't do that. But very famous person, and supposed to be a great restaurant, all this stuff, and it was just awful. Some of the food was hot, some of it was cold. The service was bad. My soup was so salty I couldn't eat it, and they didn't take it off the bill. And then while we were there, I won a drawing, and the host was right there next to me. I didn't hear that they called me, and he didn't tell me. And he's like, "Oh yeah, they called you." I'm like, "You were back there with me. Why wouldn't you say something to me?" So I was pretty aggravated about that, and he wouldn't put any money on the card, so that made me even more aggravated. But anyway, ended up making $42, so no big deal. Got the food for free, took some dessert home, so not the end of the world, but a little aggravating there. Overall, a good day, a few $1,000 day, and we're moving on. It's Friday night. I'm on a college campus because there's a donut shop she wanted to go to, so we're swinging by and getting donuts on the way home for the family for tomorrow morning, I guess. And I will see you guys on Sunday. It's going to be a long one Sunday. I won't leave town till probably 3 or 4. Probably won't get home till like 6 in the morning again, and have to go straight to work. I'll have Monday and Tuesday at work, and then back in the action again. So for now, letting you go. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.